Good morning, CPA. Friends, family, honored guests, and staff, welcome and thank you for your support in the tender upbringing of the best-looking graduating class in CPA history. My name is Matt LeMoine, and I am this year's valedictorian. I'd like to begin by saying, in all the assignments I have ever done in high school, I've never had as much difficulty as I did trying to determine what I wanted to say in this speech. At first I wrote a sappy story about the first day of primary and how Jamie Kelly, Austin Morrison, Chris Levesque, and I all sat at the same table. But that seemed cheesy and unoriginal, so I scrapped it. Then I tried relating high school to skydiving, but I found it hard to relate graduating with jumping out of a plane, screaming at the top of your lungs, and nearly peeing your pants. So after a great deal of thought, at school, after I had finished my exams, I was completely lost. That wasn't until one night. I was describing my frustration to someone when they asked, "What's this for?" Now normally I'd be quick to answer, "Graduation, of course," or "Where have you been the last 13 years?" But on this night, the question really got me thinking. What was this for? Did we struggle through school, extracurriculars, 2 packs a day at the pit, and crazy Friday nights for our parents, our teachers, our friends, or perhaps ourselves? Regardless of what the answer is, this question gave me a focus for this speech. In order to give the final salute to our class, I will attempt to decipher the very difficult question, what's this for? Or for those of you who have been following the acronyms in this speech, I will find the real answer to the time-aged question, WTF. My first thought is that we are here to celebrate the success and potential of our class and reflect upon our high school experiences. So if that's the case, it's easy to see that our class has talents and abilities beyond the capabilities of most others. We have proven time and time again how our athleticism, intelligence, maturity, and problem-solving abilities can be used to accomplish any task, be it writing a difficult math test, exhibiting advanced maturity on Kick a Ginger Day, or running away from flying projectiles at the legendary Shore Drive party. In whatever capacity, be it chem problems or problems with the pit, the lessons we learned at CPA have always been there to help us through. But these lessons can't be summed up by the facts and figures we learned in class. Because other than the odd debate on how much liquid your stomach can actually hold, and a calculation or two on how fast you have to drive to get home before curfew on a Friday night, that in-class information has hardly been used. Which brings us again to the original question, what's this for? Perhaps we're here to acknowledge the hard work that we have all put into our studies, and the great work ethic that we've developed over these past 3 years. But while we may have worked hard, that hard work usually came into play the late night before an actual due date. So if we didn't pick up an incredible work ethic or a cure for procrastination, then how did those assignments help us? And this is one of the many head fakes that high school plays on us. Because when we thought we were learning one thing, we were in fact learning something completely different. In this case, when we thought our projects and essays were made to help us deal with our busy times, what we were in fact learning was how to value our downtime. And boy did we learn it well. From LAN parties to hockey game parties to a wonderful bonding time during our grade 10 bomb threats. It all instilled the ability to allow our class to not only succeed, but do so with a smile on our faces, with the understanding that no matter how hard the week went, we'd always have a good time when we hung out with our friends on the weekend. And it taught us the most important mathematical ratio of life, that being that the roughness of one's week is inversely proportionate to the greatness of one's weekend. One may think that we are here today to discuss how we've all grown up, and how for the past 3 years we are now ready to take on the world. But this, my friends, is another head fake. While in class we received the information to help us grow up in our academic lives, it was outside of class where we learned our most important lessons about growing up. That being, life is a lot more fun as a kid. And while class taught us the values of adults, such as responsibility, maturity, manners, and intelligence, we were teaching ourselves the values of being a kid, like laughing, adapting, persisting, and really living. We may inevitably be on a track to adulthood, but with the time we had as kids, we made the best of it. Be it screaming at sporting events with no care for our own pride, or dancing at school dances, again with no care for our own pride. We saw the adaptation of the cliff from a rock into a nice quaint area, and the persistence of our cafeteria gamers to beat some kind of Nintendo world record. We helped build a house in Haiti and give orphan children in Africa a second chance at life. Not because it seemed like a good idea, but because as kids, it didn't occur to us that there was any other way to be. We laughed lots, smiled more, and as we sit here today, we may look like adults, and Lisa Murphy's intelligence may rival that of a tenured Harvard professor, but we still have the heart of a 6-year-old, caring, full of promise, hungry, and ridiculous. So the question still stands, what's this for? Like many of us asked of junior high upon its completion, what was the point of those last 3 years? To be honest, the biggest head fake of all was making us think that school was anything more than just a building with a code of conduct and a curriculum. We are the school, and that's the beauty of being a kid. We have the ability to take a stick and turn it into a sword. Take a football and make it into a championship spirit that connects 1,250 people, making them proud of where they're from. Kids can take a complete stranger and create a lifelong friend in 3 short years. As a group, kids can quite easily take each other's worlds and change them forever, with the understanding that the little things, like showing up on a bus to a teacher in need, makes all the difference. As kids, we never learned how difficult it can be sometimes to have faith in the world around us and trust the people in our lives. We learned that as adults. And it is in our blissful ignorance which lets us feel love for those around us, giving us the potential for anything. Now, a few months ago, I was in PEI with Khaled and my family, and I found myself looking through a box of old computer magazines. And on the cover of one of them was a picture of Apple CEO Steve Jobs with the heading, "A Message to Graduates. Stay hungry, stay foolish." When we begin something new, be it primary, high school, university, we all possess the same childlike excitement to witness something wonderful and do the impossible. But most of the time, we don't see it right away. So we wait, until we are told by someone that our childlike expectations are foolish, and we will never do the things we truly believe we can. It is in times of adversity such as these that the people we were begin to corrode away. And while we all start the same, it is right now, in the end of our CPA careers, that we see who we really are. So to answer that long-standing question in this speech, what's this for? WTF? It ultimately comes down to the celebration of the people we have become and the realization of the people we want to be. It is to recognize the teachers and loved ones who helped us get to this place, the friends who have loved us like siblings, and most importantly, the lessons we've learned. So if you remember nothing else about this speech, remember this. Be it a rough week and a great weekend, or the falling out with a good friend, don't let life corrode who you are and who you want to be. Stay hungry, stay foolish. So without further ado, after this long ceremony, I give you the graduating class of 2009 in all their beauty. Congratulations.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Before